Hello, everyone. It's just a whisper. Now, I think I should probably establish up top, and this might be obvious, but it's good to say. Obviously, this video will contain lots of talks and showing of alcohol, so if you have any problems with addiction, anything like that, just maybe steer clear of this one. That being said, hello, and welcome. This whole video came about because I was in a thrift store, secondhand store today, and I came across this book, The ABCs of Cocktails. So I thought I could go through it and read through some of them with you. This was published originally, I believe, in, let me double check, 1953. And this is an American book. It cost, originally, $1.95. Not quite sure how much that would equate to in modern currency, but that's interesting to learn. So, I think before we begin with this, we need to discuss cocktails in general. Now, up top, this here is not a cocktail. It is just what we call a mocktail, as it has no alcohol. The reason for this was I'm trying to cut back on the amount of alcohol that I drink. So, it's a nice substitute. While that's happening, I thought I'd show off, first of all, some bar essential equipment, and then some bar essential items that you'll probably need. I think we'll begin with this. Now, this is a small collection of the items that nearly every bar will have. So, first off, you have your swizzle stick. It's just a fairly long spoon for mixing drinks. See, it's long because some of the glasses are quite long. You just muddle it up. Next, we have a jigger. And a jigger has two different sides to it. This is a double shot. This is a single shot. Measure them fully and tip them into your glass. Then, these ice tongs. Ice tongs are, well, they're used for this. The ice bucket, which is you store the ice here, pull it out, put it in your drink when you're ready. It's quite powerful tongs, so take a little bit of expertise to get back in there. And then finally, I'm not sure if anyone will be able to tell me off the bat what this one does, but I'd love to see if you guess. It's got this round spring around here, these holes, and what it actually is you rest it on your pouring thing, which is this. This is a shaker, and you put it on your shaker, and it gets rid of pulp and ice and that kind of stuff. It's a strainer. Exactly. It's a new set, so it's not been used very much. Then we have this, which is, of course, a shaker. Now this is quite a nice, basic shaker, quite tall. And what you do is you take this section off, put your drinks in here, put the top on, and shake it. Hence the name. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to comprehend. Of course, shakers can come in a lot of different styles. This is an example of a pineapple shaker. If you're interested in that kind of thing, it's fairly heavily weighted. The top, strangely, you can't pour anything into, but it works roughly the same way. You just pull it apart. Oh, I won't do that because it'll probably be loud, but just put the top on and shake, and then you pour it out from here. Nice, fairly basic shaker behind all the frills. So, those are kind of what go in the way of bar equipment. There's some other stuff you can get, but that's the essentials. As for bar accoutrement, you will need gin. You will need gin, rum, whiskey, vodka, vermouth, usually. Those are your main things from that. So, I have very basic, boring Label 5 whiskey. Blended Scottish whiskey. Yeah. Just a nice, basic Scottish whiskey. Then we have Buckeye Classic Silver Rum. This is a French Caribbean rum. Again, not fancy, but the fact about cocktails is you don't want to use high quality spirits. Some people say you do, but you don't want to use cheap spirits, obviously, but you don't go for the highest top end shelf because that is for sipping. You'd just get a sipping rum. This is for mixing. This is a mixing rum. It was Buckeye Classic Silver Rum is a pleasant white rum, smooth, dry, with lingering finishes. Ideal for cocktails. Exactly. See? Then, of course, if you're going to do a gin, which most people would, you need a gin. It's highly recommended you get something like Gordon's. Gordon's London Dry Gin. So this is a very, very basic, popular gin. It's really cheap. That gets the job done, Everyone loves Gordon's. Fun fact about Gordon's gin. In the James Bond films, I think the newer James Bond films, James Bond specifically mentions making his gin with Gordon's. Sorry, making his martinis with Gordon's gin. And that was because they had a deal with Gordon's, which is quite funny because James Bond has got a very discerning palate, so you'd expect him to drink something more fine. Now, I kind of broke my rule about cheap stuff, because the vodka I have is Crystal Head vodka. More specifically, it is the Aurora Crystal Head vodka. This is about maybe $60 US. So it's not cheap. It's definitely not a cheap vodka. It's quite nice. I prefer the original, to be honest. But fun fact, this was made by Dan Aykroyd, one of the Ghostbusters. He owns this company. And he's also a lunatic. So, I think it's time to read through this book. I'd love to know, of those of you which can drink, I'm not sure how many that would be, what your favorite cocktail would be. My personal favorite cocktail, I'm not sure if it'll be in this book, seeing this is from the 50s, is the espresso martini. So let's read the foreword about cocktails. This little book is about cocktails, just what a cocktail should be and how it should be made, when it should be served, are frequently asked subjects of controversy. Take the martini, most famous of all cocktails. Some people wouldn't drink a martini if it were the only liquid on a desert isle. Some would look down their nose at anyone who drinks anything else. Some will drink martinis only before dinner. And amongst those who drink martinis, there is constant dispute on the right kind of gin, the right proportion of gin, whether to stir or shake, whether to add an olive, an onion, lemon peel, or nothing. But cocktails needn't be confusing. Let us say once about all cocktails, they be served in 3 entirely different needs and should be chosen and prepared accordingly. First, cocktails provide a grateful and pleasant way to drink for those who enjoy the relaxation or stimulation of alcohol. They are simply gin, whiskey, brandy, or rum, pleasantly colored, flavored, and served in a pretty glass. Use 2 ounces or more of liquor per cocktail for such drinkers. Second, cocktails are excellent stimulants of appetite when they are not sweet, and thus provide a perfect before-dinner course when awaiting the palate for relaxing the nerves. Third, cocktails offer seldom drinkers a pleasantly flavored small quantity of alcohol to hold for social purposes. Use about 1 ounce of liquor for such cocktails. Obviously, if you are making cocktails for vigorous drinkers, you will need to make them long on liquor and short on flavoring and sweeteners. If you are making them before dinner, you'll need to make them short on sweet or sugar flavorings. If you are making them for amateurs or maiden aunts and such, you will need to make them short on liquor and strong on flavorings and sugar. The recipes given hereafter are a strong side for experienced drinkers. You need to make modifications and suit your guests with your own personal tastes. Once you understand the basic facts of the paragraphs above, you can choose to substitute cocktails. You can place any recipe with adding and modifying and getting the best results. So, what that essentially boils down to is how much you enjoy alcohol is how much it should go in your drink. You see, essentially, that's what it boils down to. Now, here we have a little bit of a poem, for some reason, in this book. Alcohol's a temptress. Alcohol's a flirt. She neither raises you to the skies or drops you to the dirt. Bizarre. So, first off, we have the absinthe cocktail. So that's 3 parts absinthe, 2 parts water, 1 part sugar syrup. And that is in so that's 3 parts absinthe, 2 parts water, 1 part sugar syrup. And that is in essence as simple as a cocktail can get. It's just absinthe watered down with a bit of sugar. Twist a piece of lemon over the drink. Grenadine can be substituted for the sugar. What about an apricot brandy sour? I believe in the US they call it apricot. Or maybe it's a regional thing, I don't know. You need 6 parts brandy, 2 parts lime juice, and 1 part apricot cordial. Absinthe frap. absinthe frap. Absinthe. So 3 parts absinthe, 1 part aniseed, 1 part sugar. Shake with finely crushed ice and pour without a strainer into a champagne or old-fashioned glass. Serve with a short straw. Then we have the Alexander, which is 2 parts gin, 1 part creme de cacao, which is a kind of like a cacao or cocoa bean flavored, like a additive kind of thing. And then 1 part sweet cream, which sounds relatively nice, I suppose. Then we have the Admiral, which is 6 parts gin, 2 parts lime juice, and 1 part cherry hearing or cherry cordial. See, here's the thing. I think that cocktails can be quite interesting with the way you present them as well. I think this is slightly too exposed. Let's see if I can fix that. Maybe, yeah, around the early 1900s, alcoholism was like a terrible thing that was sweeping across America. I mean, awful. People were really, really bad with their drinks. And when Prohibition came into effect, people tend to believe that Prohibition didn't work, when in actuality, in a way, it sort of did. Because when people were allowed to drink again, they never really drunk as much as anyone else. You know, like when they went back, they didn't drink as much as they used to. Which is an interesting fact, you know? But I'm here to take some orders for drinks, so just tell me what you want and I'll see if I can find it in the book. Anyone want a Bloody Mary? By all accounts, the worst thing you can have for a hangover. Some genius was like, hey, do you know what I want? I want an alcoholic drink that's savory. And everyone decided that is a goddamn brilliant idea. So give me some tomato juice, vodka, lemon juice, Worcestershire sauce, and hot sauce, Tabasco. That's meant to cure your hangover. Newsflash, guys, you're just getting drunk again. They're like, oh yeah, I don't have my hangover anymore. Well, no, you don't. You are just drunk. Bloody Mary is quite famous, though. Although, really strangely, this recipe from the 50s doesn't include Tabasco sauce, which is now a staple of all Bloody Marys. So, what this implies to me was that the addition of Tabasco sauce was a later thing. That's interesting. For the person who just commented, yes, Oblivion Gates. I know a lot of you think of Bloody Mary being the spooky ghost, but no. Bloody Mary actually probably doesn't refer to the ghost. It probably refers to Mary Queen of Scots, whose nickname was Bloody Mary. She was a historical figure, and she was known for burning Protestants at the stake. So, cheers. What a bitch. Then we have, the Bug House. Can you imagine going up to a bar and ordering a Bug House? You'd sound like an idiot. This is becoming me insulting you as you add sugar and bitters and you pretend that it's a cocktail. It's so basic. Cuban Dream. Again, Cuban Dream has no recipe list, but it's to each jigger of Golden Label rum, add a few dashes of Benedictine and a few dashes of French dry vermouth. It's weird. Cloverfield Canadian Captain's Blood. Glassware and measurements. Oh, for God's sakes. So, I've noticed this in a lot of different sects of a lot of different things. The people decide what we're going to do, is we're not going to name this anything normal. So, what I mean by that is 1 ounce, 1 1/4 ounce, 2 2/4 ounces, and 3 3/4 ounces. They can't just say that. They have to call it a pony, a jigger, a sherry, a cocktail glass. Like, a pony and a jigger? Are you kidding? Insanity. Then we have daiquiris, which are nice. 6 parts white labeled rum, 2 parts lime juice, 1 part sugar syrup. Fun. Then we have the Derby, which is 6 parts gin, 1 part peach cordial, 1 teaspoon of sugar syrup. Surely the cordial would make it sweet enough already. We have the Derby champagne, which has the dawn, the double rainbow, the sweetness. El Presidente. Interesting. Right. Sorry, is the stream lagging for a lot of you? Because if it is, we might have to cut it short, I'm afraid. I'll have to redo this another time if my internet is the problem here. I'm out of my cocktail anyway. So if you're experiencing lag, just let me know. How's everyone doing? Ah, well. It's fun while it lasted. I think I'll have to do this another time. Interesting book this, though. Definitely. The Scarlet O'Hare, the Silver Bronx, the Sherry and Bitters. Screwdriver. You know, that'd be interesting to think about. I often wonder, because we can't know everything that's in the world. I know that sounds like some kind of crazy talk, but what I mean by that is 500 years ago, we had all the parts to make a computer, because no parts have come from anywhere else but on Earth. But it's only recently that we've been able to make computers. It makes me wonder, are there any alcohols that we don't know exist yet? I know it's a long shot, but it's possible, isn't it? Maybe someone will figure out that if you ferment, I don't know, something, you'll get a new type of alcohol. That'd be fun. Open the doorway for a bunch of new cocktails. You have the New Yorker, which is rye whiskey, lemon juice, grenadine. The coconut alcohol, that's been invented. It's called Malibu. Sorry to burst your bubble there. Mai Tai. High-end drink, equal amounts of rum, lime juice, orange Cointreau, pineapple liqueur, and other fruit liqueurs. Yeah. So just like 50s, 60s had such a push on Hawaii. That's another fun fact. For example, this shaker is a 60s invention. And if you want to know why America suddenly had a fascination with Hawaii in the 60s, well, it was because of the acquisition of Hawaii as a state. And the acquisition of Hawaii as a state came at the hands of a bloody coup by the evil American government to overthrow the um, kind of the kind of kingdom, because it was a kingdom. It had a queen of Hawaii, and they kind of set a coup in there to overthrow the entire government. With this, basically a bunch of white guys who lived in Hawaii who wanted to be able to say they were still American. So they had this massive coup, destroyed their kind of native culture, and now they're a tourist destination for fat and lazy people who want to experience real Hawaiian culture. But they killed it in the 60s. It's been your cynical look at past culture. Also, the Dole Pineapple Company are evil. Look it up. Hey, this is a topical one. The Hong Kong. That's 5 parts gin, 1 part French vermouth, 1 part sugar syrup, 1 spoon of lime juice, 1 dash of bitters. The Havana. These are all, I think, named after different places. That's interesting. We have the Honeybee, which was Jamaican rum, lime juice, and honey. It's nice. The Gibson. Now, here's the funny thing about a Gibson. A Gibson is just a martini, but you replace the olive with an onion. I guess it's fine. It's the same, isn't it? I'm not sure how to feel about that. Trying to think. Do we have any coffee drinks, I wonder? Way down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions. They've got to find those extra cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. You can't get cherry soda 'cause they've got to fill their quota. And the way things are, I bet they never will. They've got 1 billion tons of coffee in Brazil. No tea, no tomato juice. You'll see, no potato juice. 'Cause the planners down in Santa's all say no, no, no. A politician's daughter was accused of drinking water and was fined a great big $50 bill. I'm trying to find it. Can't see it. They've got an awful lot of coffee. So that tells me that back in the 50s, the idea of mixing coffee in cocktails was probably not as prevalent as it is today. I would actually love to know when the invention of the espresso martini is credited to. Because I can't find it in here. It's interesting. Yeah. Frozen is interesting. Yeah. Frozen daiquiris, definitely, though. And don't worry, I won't sing anymore. And then you got the Bronx, which is 4 parts bourbon, 1 part. Oh gosh, what's that? Curacao? 1 part Benedictine, 2 parts lemon juice, 1 part bitters. Interesting. It's interesting indeed. There was this. In cocktail terms, the espresso martini has a relatively short history, the drink being created by early 80s. Ah, that's why it's not in here. Because this is a 50s one. Wow. A drink that'll wake you up. Irish coffee is a mix of alcohol and coffee, though, but it's not a cocktail, I don't think. It's just adding alcohol to your coffee. So it's a bit different. So it's an 80s invention. Starting to pass this over my hands. Tell me if it gets annoying. But then we have Nevada, which is 6 parts white label rum, 2 parts lime juice, 2 parts grapefruit juice, 1 part sugar syrup. See, here's my problem with cocktail names, and some of them are great. The Bloody Mary is a classic name. It's a drink that looks a bit like blood. Bloody Mary, fun. So many of them have names that don't seem to have logic behind them, if that makes sense. Like, why are you naming your cocktail the Nevada? Was it made in Nevada? A lot of cocktails are made in Nevada. So you just claim that this is the official cocktail of Nevada? Makes no sense. I don't like it. I wish people would name their cocktails more inventively than just, I don't know, tropical. Tropical. Jamaican rum, lime juice, pineapple juice, grenadine. I get that. But, even then, again, this was published back in the 50s where beef fizz was a thing. I don't know if any of you have heard of beef fizz, but beef fizz was a cocktail invented by Campbell's Soup Company that included beef stock. And, gosh, that sounds appalling. I can't imagine anyone seeing that and going, geez, that sounds great. But I remember in the 50s, America just went insane and decided to make everything into a mayonnaise jelly. Jello, I should say. Which is just wild. 50s America is such an interesting time with the Red Scare and the kind of conformity style. It's a very interesting time. Even then, I didn't. Yeah. Crush is dating someone. I'm really sad. I need a boyfriend. People come and go. It's sad sometimes. I hope the thing's not lagging too bad. I'm trying to think of my favorite cocktail. And honestly, I think it was when I was out on a date and we went to this bar that had this cocktail. I'm trying to remember. And I think it was came with basically a candy kebab. That was a lot of fun. I like that. It was extremely sweet. Has anyone tasted iced tea and gin? I can actually see that being a good flavor combination. I can imagine gin going with iced tea. Although I'm trying to cut back on my sugar, so it won't be a cocktail I try for a while. I get that, though. Gin is an interesting thing. Because, in essence, all gin is flavored vodka. It really is. It's the same kind of way you make vodka, and you add a bunch of botanicals in it, and then you water it down. It really is. It's the same kind of way you make vodka, and you add a bunch of botanicals in it, and then you water it down. Product codes for the kind of alcohol world as a whole. I know that prohibition hit differently in different countries. I actually don't know how it worked in England, whether they had it or not. I know that America did something and Australia did something. I remember those two. Australia never outright banned the sale of alcohol. But what they did do was heavily limited in a kind of imitation of the American way. And the way they did this was making it illegal to sell or serve alcohol anywhere other than a bar or a pub, I should say. And then they would limit the pub to, I think, from maybe midday to 5 p.m. So it's a very short window in actuality where you can get a drink. And what this led to was a binge drinking culture. So it entirely backfired on them. So I think Australia in modern day has an extreme binge drinking culture. So fun facts. Limiting the sale of something isn't as effective as removing the sale of something. There you go. These kind of interesting things create kind of a look at the world's dependency on the development, of alcohol. For example, in places like France, I don't believe that there is I think that a child could have like a small amount of wine at dinner. I don't know if they still can, but I know for the longest time they could. There wasn't a proper drinking age. It's very interesting. I'd love to hear your opinions on kind of what your favorite alcohol cocktails are. Because I really, really love to hear about that. As for stuff like relationships, which I've seen a few comments on, I wouldn't come to me with stuff like that. I'd speak to a person you know in real life. I'm a faceless entity. Don't take advice from me. So, if you've never drunk a cocktail before, what I would suggest is kind of working your way up. Start with something incredibly sweet, not a lot of alcohol in it, and slowly build your way. I think ciders are a nice alcohol to begin with. They're quite nice, crisp, if you get the right one, that is. Your favorite wine is Pink Messiah from Walmart. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, everyone's got their own personal tastes. It's fine. Yeah, happy Halloween. The sweet alcohol can be a hint of fruit, vodka, color. Hold on. By the way, think this. The sweet alcohol can be a hint of fruit, vodka, color. What it tends to be with cocktails with sweet stuff is it tends to be a lot of fruit juice and a small amount of vodka, because vodka's quite flavorless. It burns, but it doesn't have a lot of flavor. Honestly, I've never tried alcohol that tastes good yet. No, but there are some definitely out there. There's some alcohols that taste quite good. Jello shots of vile. I don't like jelly, so I would never do that. Well, I like jelly in specific circumstances, actually. I tell a lie. When I was a child, I used to enjoy it a lot. Well, it's Halloween. Have fun. Am I crazy? It's not Halloween. It's like the 4th, isn't it? I love my $5 wine. I'm sure you do. Sounds like a bargain. If I drink alcohol, my Asian mother will kill me. If you're underage, I understand that, but if you're not, then that does make a lot of sense to me. Unless it's a religious thing, in which case, of course, it's fair. I've only had a sweet toddy wine, just like nectar from a coconut blossom that's fermented. I've never had that, and I'd love to. I've had fermented coconut before when I was on a coconut plantation, and I picked a coconut that was off, and I drank it. It was bad. It tasted fizzy. Oh gosh. And you're most likely to get this question a lot. Started wondering what inspired you to make your channel. I actually get it every single live stream, and it's fine to ask again. It was just the fact that I liked watching ASMR videos, and I thought, I wonder if I can give back to the community. You know, that kind of stuff. Very basic. I did. See, here's the thing. My house is currently going under renovations. Minor renovations, because I had a fireplace installed. The builders fucked up the roof, so some tiles cracked. So when we had a giant thunderstorm, the roof leaked, and then it made massive water damage in the roof with a crack forming. And they said they'd send someone down to fix it. And an old man came today. He said he'd fix it. He left, and what he'd done is do the worst paint job I've ever seen. He didn't even finish the entire roof. He just left giant patches unpainted. He didn't even cover the fucking stain. Sorry, shouldn't swear. It's been a hell of a ride. I don't even... How do you mess up that bad when it's your job? Nice guy, though. He's a Greek or Italian. He had an interesting accent. But, bad at his job. Really bad at his job. It actually would have been better if he hadn't come. My life would be better. But the point of this story is I have a bunch of crap piled up on this table because you know, I had to move it out of the way. There is a bird. There's a stuffed bird there. There's a globe right there. Policeman's hat. Plant. Who's a Mexican painter? The woman, quite famous. Whoever she is, we've got a painting with her. Forget it. But it's been an alright day. It's actually not been an alright day. It's been a sad day. But you know, I'm just self-denying. Lordy. You know, it's alright though. This is a cocktail party. We're all meant to be drinking our cocktails and having fun. So, a few fun facts. I have an entire gin trolley in my house. So I have a regular bar area, but I also have an entire trolley specifically for gin. So that's fun. Because gin comes in a billion different flavors. But if anyone can tell me without Googling, so I'll give you 10 seconds. If anyone can tell me the main taste, flavor, or ingredient in gin that makes it gin, I'll give you a prize. You got 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope. Oh shit, someone just got it just after. It's juniper berries. Yeah, you win. Mari. Fused forever. So you technically win, but you're outside the time limit, so... You know. Oh well. Unless there's a delay. If there's a delay, we'll consider that you won. You win I don't know, this bottle. If you can come and grab it, you can get it. It's just going to be sitting here for you. His fingers smell like... Thanks for that. I really, really needed that encouragement that I have small fingers. I've been watching your Dere videos. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, especially since I'm a male. No need to be guilty about that, you know. At this point in my life, I'm not guilty about watching ASMR at all. Like, I genuinely am not at all. I tell people if they ask, you know. I used to be really scared that people would find out and think I'm like a deviant into this weird stuff. But it's not weird. So, you know. It's, yeah, something you can enjoy and, you know, be a part of. It's a really lovely community. I like your audios. You do a lot of them in the future. You know, Halloween is coming up, and I'm psyched about that, but I'm also a bit scared I might not get it done in time. Hopefully that won't be a problem, but yeah, I can actually, seeing as you guys took the effort to come see my live stream, I can probably tell you what the theme is for this Halloween. If you like. Because it's not a retread of the original. You won't see Butter or Aurora or the Mandrake. This isn't a classic Oceanside Halloween. It is a Victorian-themed Halloween, or Penny Dreadful Halloween. So it's all Victorian-themed and Gothic. At least that's what I'm hoping for, you know? Hopefully I can get the artists all ready in time. Obviously, you can't rush people, especially since they're being so kind as to donate the art, you know. Let's see. It's more open the fact about watching. I know some other Dere videos, guys in particular. I'm closed by and definitely do not want that getting out. Hey, that's okay. Look, it's a tough time coming out, so I understand if that's, you know, like that. But I'm glad that I can be a little bit cheer you up, you know, make some nice videos. I was doing Inktober, but I've got a lot of essays. I feel that too. My deadline's coming up during the middle of Halloween. Yeah. Man, in Indonesia, there's no Halloween thing. Yes, I believe Indonesia... Oh, actually, I don't know. Because I know Malaysia is Muslim, so they wouldn't celebrate Halloween. I don't know what Indonesia is. Are they mostly Buddhist? No, they wouldn't be, would they? Anyway, it might just be a cultural thing. I assume it would be more of a cultural thing than any religious reason. But, I discovered your channel, so that's nice. I'm glad you discovered it after this spooky week. Gotta go, I have school tomorrow. It's been nice seeing you. Want to make a fan art now, if I have the time? You can make fan art anytime. Just send it to my, you know, email. It's in the end of all my videos. Please don't be insecure about your fingers, it's fine. Look, I know I've got short fingers. I don't care. I forgot which video was the first one. Watched Halloween a year or two ago. Yeah, it would have been a year ago. From Malaysia here. Love your videos. Hey, Malaysia, you make really good food. I'm sure Indonesia does too. You guys make the same food. Fight, 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 fight. You guys have such similar cultures, but every Malaysian and Indonesian I've met have been like, no, the other guy sucks. We had it first. I know it's just like a rivalry that Malaysia and Indonesia tend to have is between who made what up. Nasi goreng is amazing though. That's definitely Indonesian. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Shit. But Malaysian curries are great. And they make like a great fried chicken as well. Speaking of Oceanside, I'm curious about the world. Do you keep notes on it? Yeah, I actually do. I have an entire kind of place where I write all the lore. I'm writing about the different gods at the moment. Yeah. Yeah. We have Halloween. You don't celebrate these parties. Sometimes you don't celebrate at all. Oh. I'm moving countries. Bye. Why are you moving countries? Nazi Lama. Let's go. Me. In the Philippines, I'm inspired by your determination. Yeah. I don't actually know a lot about Filipino cuisine. I'd love to learn. Don't get a lot of it where I am currently. A lot of Indonesian and Malay. But please don't encourage the countries to fight. We don't need more war. Oh, I definitely wasn't implying war. I was just saying that they have a friendly rivalry, Indonesia and Malaysia. Hold on. We don't have Halloween in the Philippines. On occasion, the countries involved in these Halloweens. I see. Release the law notes, please. It's my birthday. They're very rough and very all over the place. Now I think about it, I think it was Salt, the one who's introduced me. Finnegan's one of my earliest videos. I think is my favorite. He's one of my favorites too. Nasi goreng for dinner. Hold up, I'm gonna make nasi goreng. I have a chef who I work with because I work in a kitchen, and he makes the best nasi goreng. He's so good. They still sell Halloween candy. You know what? It's so weird. That's where I live too currently. It's a country where they don't celebrate Halloween, but all the stores act like they do. Like they're like, get ready for Halloween. They get pumpkins and they get tons of Halloween candy and decorations. But the thing is, no one ever celebrates Halloween. It's like a weird cryptic thing here. The stuff goes on sale and it does disappear, but it's never out. There's no one carving jack-o'-lanterns. There's no one putting black cats in their windows. There's no one handing out candy on Halloween. So why do they do it? You know what I mean? It's so strange. Good morning from New York. Hey, that's awesome. I hope you're doing well. I hear New York's getting better, so, getting out of that bad time they were in. You should try Seblac. Don't know that one. I stopped celebrating Halloween years ago. Okay, Scrooge McHalloween. I'm sorry. Found you from Floof and remembered spilling water all over the floor from kicking it hard. Oh gosh. I'm curious, what's your favorite folklore story? Folklore story. Oh goodness. I'm trying to think. I like the Headless Horseman. That's a really fun folklore story. Sleepy Hollow, that kind of thing. I don't know if that's like folklore, but that's lovely. I love that story. Yeah, that's pure spooky. When the spooks and demons, blah blah blah. I'll have to stimulate giving candy kids years, assuming the fears of Sam from Trick or Treat are coming to get me for being stingy. Never come to get me, and I don't. I mean, I would give people candy if they came, but no one ever does. Might just give them a watch or something. No. Probably just colder rain in Ireland. I can guarantee you it is. I'm sure those rough Oceanside notes are better than mine. Mine are chaotic. You have Oceanside notes? Do you really? Because if you have Oceanside notes, I would love to look over them and see if there's any lore that you picked up on that was accidental. Like, I didn't think that I mentioned it. They try and keep things consistent, but I know that there's a whole bunch of inconsistencies in the early videos. I know in the early videos, and I hate that I did this, but in the early videos, I mention real places. I think I mentioned England and that kind of stuff, which kind of does mess with stuff. But yeah, that's just my early days with that. Is there any fun to be had in trick-or-treating? I've never tried it. From the times I tried it as a child, I remember it being incredibly fun. Yeah, dressing up, getting sweets or candy or I don't know what they call it in Canada or whatever. Sweets, candy. lollies, that kind of stuff. My cousin's getting me to be a skeleton from Coco. Like a sugar skull. That's nice. I never trick-or-treating. Would have loved to. Yeah, I feel that. I'd love to visit Europe in the future. Ireland being my top pick, despite the rain. I'm very interested in people who are interested in Ireland. Sorry, I just meant actually Europe in general. I wonder, because I think Asia is definitely the place I'd want to go, because it's so different, if you get what I mean. I probably wouldn't want to go somewhere like China. There's nothing against, obviously, Chinese people or their culture. It's just, it's kind of a very scary place to be at the moment, being like a surveillance state. But that's pretty much the only place in Asia I wouldn't head. You know. Aside from that, how's my power doing? Well, it won't tell me. Oh, here we go. Battery at 19%. Don't know how it drops so quickly nowadays. Anyway. I work in this garage center. We sell pumpkin. Whoa. A little bit of a delay on the, Sorry. Just freaking out a little. Trick-or-treating to be a bit dangerous. Europe has a lot of culture and history. Probably just as much as Asia. Oh, definitely. Absolutely. But I know Europe. I don't know Asia. Reminds me of your old Adam. I remember my early days when I tried to do my own Adam thing. That was fun. Yeah. Wow. This was really fun talking to you guys. To be honest, I was thinking of deleting this stream after I was finished. I don't think that I will. This was actually quite nice to talk to you guys. If you want to message me at all, I do have a Tumblr. Although, you know, it's weirdly the only social media I use at the moment, even though it's like the most dead thing. So I do have a Tumblr, but I also have email. So please, if you're interested in talking to me at all, just typing in Dark and Twisted Whisper. And obviously my email, I'll say it again, it's in the description of nearly all. Go to my videos, check the description, you'll find my email. Please send me any art, any topics you want to talk about. I'm always open to you guys. That was a ghost. That was a spooky ghost. I gotta go. I'm haunted. There's a ghost.